Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burton. We got a good show planned for you guys tonight. Great conversation. I think it's much needed because, I, like most parents, we try our best to do the best what we do with our kids, and hopefully we can have them, grow to be upright citizens and everything. And a question that I think a lot of us ask ourselves, especially as our kids become adults, did I do right by them? How my job and everything? Did I teach my kids this? Did I teach my kids that? And so, what I want to have the conversation tonight, we're going to be asking: Are you raising resilient kids? Are you raising resilient kids? I want to be a great discussion with you guys. Feel free to call in. The call-in number 678-740-9894, and I want more people to call. I'll repeat it again afterwards. But again, we're talking about asking the question: rather, are you raising resilient kids? We're right now streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. But the main hub is a Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burton YouTube channel.
What's up, Cookie? How you doing? Happy birthday, belated birthday.
What's going on? We're going to Cookie.
Yeah, that's Rick's cousin.
Okay, happy birthday, Cookie. Like that name. Coming to the stage. One time, two times from 11:58.
Cookie. I'm sorry about that, brother.
Before we get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lab.
What's going on, brother? It's Thursday.
Absolutely.
Best day of the week.
Absolutely.
Got to spread this knowledge.
Yes, sir. Also to my other producer, Slick 316. What's up, Rick? And yeah, man. Again, guys, feel free. If you got comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to leave them in the chat. But definitely feel free to call in. I had the pervert call in.
I told you, he called in, got a little comedy in him, and he ain't
been back since.
Nah. I think that's all he wanted, just to talk to somebody real quick.
So you saying I should just let him talk?
You should probably let him talk.
Okay.
I mean, man, just engage.
Not about them damn worms.
Yeah, I think he just wants somebody to engage with.
Yeah, he wasn't talking about worms on other shows.
He was like, "Oh, they cool," and he's not messing with it.
Okay.
Well, so comedy gonna mess with him back.
I got you. But again, guys, tonight we're talking about, we're asking the question: are you raising resilient kids? Are you raising resilient kids? And the call-in number is 678-740-9894. And we start asking the question, about resilient kids. Yes, what is resilience? And by definition, is the ability to bounce back from challenges, adapt to adversity, and keep going when things get tough. Again, it's the ability to bounce back from challenges, adapt to adversity, and keep going even when things get tough. I think one of the biggest things just being, and I'm going to be transparent with a situation with me and my kids over the years. I think a lot of times we say, we're asking the question, rather, are we raising resilient kids? We got to be honest with ourselves and just say, shit, are we resilient?
Right.
When things get rough, or thing, do we have some kind of safety net that we always go back to? Do we have somebody every time stuff get rough gonna fix it or whatever
that we can talk to about it?
Yeah, exactly. Or just, hey, you fix it. I'm gonna call Lab. Stuff get rough. Let me hit my brother. Let me call my mama. Let me do this, that, and that. Or Pop's gonna take care of it. I think it's easy. Sometimes we can say that I do this with my kids, but we have to self-reflect, see if we got that with ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know, like any other parent, I can say this: when you see your kids, and I think I'm a very mentally tough person.
Mm-hmm.
An athlete growing up, and was 9 years in the military. I think I'm a very mentally tough person.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, and I kind of pride myself on it.
Right.
And I think my goal has always been to try to make my children mentally tough. I think all of them, to a degree, one or two a little bit more than others, but I think they pretty strong-minded.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be lying if I said, man, that shit don't be frightening to see your kids go through stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
we had
just being real
about that before. We had a conversation about a show about that when we talked about wanting to solve the problems for our children.
Yeah.
When they get into issues and get into trouble, we tend to want to solve that issue for them.
Yeah,
It's that, you know what I'm saying? Remember that show we had? I think it was Are You Raising Strong Children or something like that?
Raising adult kids.
Adult kids,
raising
right?
Adult kids,
right? And we were talking about solving the problem for them. How a lot of us tend to want to solve the problem instead of seeing what they can do first, and then maybe helping them, not solving it, but helping them. Remember that?
And see, the thing of it was, and the reason why with this show, as far as Are You Raising Resilient Children, the thing what we talking about today is more so, let's catch it before it get there, because with that show, raising your adult children, that's the product, like, that's the end game. Like, okay, shit, like, because we didn't do the things we're going to discuss tonight, this is what you got. So at the end of the day, like, you can always go, like, do that self-reflection and say, well, hey, I might have missed the boat on this, I might have missed the boat on that. What can I do differently? Or and that may be with, if you have some more, or with your niece or nephews or grandkids and stuff like that, because everybody got some kind of, we can say, well, people throw the blame and stuff like that. But what I always say, Lab, is parents, we get too much credit when they do right, and too much blame when they do wrong. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't necessarily a dysfunctional family. You might got one or two dysfunctional members. Right.
And that's sometimes that's the case when you got multiple.
Absolutely. Because folks like, because I'm gonna say this, Lab. When you see people, a lot of times with kids posted, and I can even say myself too, when you see a video, kids just going crazy. What the first thing? Parents.
Right.
Because we're assuming, right? But generally like that, unless you got, a damn robot for a child, they're gonna do some stupid shit that you ain't aware of. Right. They gonna do some stuff like, what I don't know what the hell they got shit from.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't never taught them that.
That's from their mom's side. Yeah.
I mean, they gotta be helped. Right. He raised their ass to steal. Right. He raised them to do all that stuff. Right. And that's just some stuff that they're doing. Right. And people so often are really, can put stuff on that because they'll say, hey, and they can assume because I got a well-mannered son. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. This, that, and that. Well, you did a good job. I ain't had shit to do with that. Right. And you know what I'm saying? I love my dad to death. Right. He just loves taking credit for the shit. All the shit he has never done. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I hear folks tell me all the time, man, you're a good kid, man. I be proud of my genes. I said, that's about all it is.
The rest of it was
damn better. My dad always tell me, man, my genes. Right. Nothing to do with, but but that be the thing, like, you get, man, you did a good job, right, boy. Right. Nah. But that's the thing with it, and I just want to have this conversation because as parents, we don't get a book, right? And and being a parent is a real fucking fraternity for anybody, right? And a lot of times, depending on the resources you have, that be mentors or friends or family members, you sometimes can't throw certain ideas, you can't ask certain questions because you gotta be careful with certain conversations because you don't want shit to get repeated. Right. You gotta be careful with certain things because you might be dealing with somebody that they love you and care about you, but you're gonna get some ignorant ass advice. Right. Beat their ass. Right. I want to do this, I want to do that, and tell you to do shit with your kids that they'll never do with theirs. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's a funky spot.
We always talked about, we talked about before how that first child is a test, and then that second child, you kind of get it. You kind of get a grasp of what's going on. Yeah. A lot of times when it comes to parenting, I know when I came up with my children, I was young. I've always said that. So it was. I think I didn't get an understanding of it until my third child came. Because my first two, I was still in my teens and 20s. I was 18, 19, 20 years old with my first two. So I didn't have a grasp on parenting. I knew what I didn't want to do, and that was what my mama did. So I'll try to do the opposite as best I could. Yeah. But I didn't, and the resilience part wasn't even a part of my thinking. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking to make my children resilient. I was thinking to make my children not be hungry, have decent clothes on their back, be successful in school. Those were the main ingredients I was trying to put in there. I didn't want them to be, you know what I'm saying? You don't want them to be, slow in school. You don't want them to not be dressed well. You don't want to feel like they're hungry, because those are things for me. And now I wasn't dumb in school or slow in school, but I didn't have much clothes. I didn't eat all the time. So a lot of times those things that we dealt with when we were children, we try to prevent our children from having to deal with it.
You know what's fun? You know what's funny, Lab? What's up, a little bit? My sister came in. You know what's funny though, Lab? Is our kids grow up, we'll focus so much on what we want to give them, but then we see them out in other settings and doing other things where they have successes and failures. We were like, damn, man, I should have taught their ass that.
Mm-hmm.
We started hitting us what we didn't do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we so focused, man, I got them looking good.
Right.
I got them sharp.
They full, they belly full.
Yeah, but I ain't prepared them for the setback, the heartbreak, the denials. You know what I'm saying? Getting skipped and not getting chosen.
Do you think we even think of those things though when we're raising our children, especially if we're younger or we married or we trying to, use in the military and all that? I mean, do you think we were even thinking of those things?
I think we think about what's important to us at that time.
Right.
Experience teaches you to kind of cover certain things, right?
Right.
So as you become a more experienced person, then you start thinking about now the decision's on you. Okay, how relevant do you think it is to put that in there, right? And so we start talking about again resiliency. Like, okay, can they handle adversity? Can they bounce back? You know what I'm saying? Do I got to sit here every damn time something go wrong? Because you work with people. I'm like, man, I can't do this. I got to stop. I got to do this. Like, shit, man. We still got to get this stuff together, man.
Right.
You need a stress break. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think I've been fortunate myself. I'm one of them people. I can juggle 7-8 balls at a time. Everybody can't do that.
Right.
And I understand that. But I also understand you don't need to try to be in a position where you need to know how to at least juggle one or two, and you can't even do one.
Right.
Like you really got to pause because let me take some time to deal with this. But we got other shit going on. Right. And I think people got to be realistic with that and just knowing what your kids like. Listen, just be able to holler at them about certain things like that. Again, like guys, tonight we're talking about: are you asking the question? Are you raising resilient kids? Feel free if you got any questions or anything like that. What's your experience being a parent? We're like, hey man, what's up, coach? You might have missed out on some things as far as like, teach your kids to be resilient, teach your kids to have thicker skin or something like that. Feel free to leave a chat or leave a comment in the chat, or you can call in 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number is 678-740-9894. So in the discussion, when we're talking about, you raise resilient kids, what I'm going to do is...
Let me pause you real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Say hey to mama.
What's up, mom?
Hey, mama.
What's
hey,
going
mama.
on?
See, I wasn't late this time, mama. When I heard you pop in, it was a ring in my ear. Say, mama is on the line.
My mama straight out of the bank here, boy. If I didn't have no thick skin dealing with that one,
I don't think it's just a bankhead thing. The West Side of Chicago has issues too.
Boy, if I couldn't handle, I'd be on somebody's couch. So that woman told me.
We don't believe him, Mom. We love you. We don't believe him.
I love you, Mom.
I love you.
But in our discussion tonight, first I'm going to give you guys some tips to help, as far as helping you to raise resilient kids. Then also going to go some common mistakes that parents make and that can inhibit resilience. And then lastly, we'll get some tips of things you can avoid so you don't have any mistakes with
right.
it, okay? But so one of the first things I want to just say is when you talking about to help you encourage you raising resilient kids, the first thing I want to think about is just encourage problem solving. Let them figure shit out themselves. Let your kids figure stuff out yourself. Hey, hey man, I'm telling you, dog, just certain things you got to sit here and say like, look, man, Dad, I can't figure that. I can't find it. The teacher said this. So, listen. So what I tell, figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I think that's more our fault, though.
But you want to know why it be our fault? Because we feel like we ain't got enough time. I ain't got time.
We ain't got the patience.
So telling me it's going to fix it.
Right.
But my thing why I look at it like that is that the time I'm losing now is saving me time in the future.
Okay, I got it.
So let me lose my time now. Let you go on and get it. And so like later on, I ain't dealing with this stuff later on, right?
Right.
Go on and figure out. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I get what you're saying.
You got to go take this particular test. We done studied it, or you got to go apply for go to a job interview. We're gonna go a couple things you need to do, go over, but you got to go through and bump your head like, dang, I ain't do that. I missed that. But now you experienced it, right? You got to sit here and find out. Go to a particular interview, and I'm not going at the interview with you. Well, my son's finna get an interview. Where the supervisor?
Right.
Go figure it out.
Right.
Go ask for who you need to go speak with.
Right.
Figure it out. Right.
Right. Figure out what you need to say, how you need to say it, how you need to dress.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. My boys go to college, man. Y'all figure out what's going on.
Right.
I'm gonna try to give you the tools to prepare for that. But when it get there, you figure it out. And like I said, a lot of times parents we be so pressing. We feel we're so pressing for time. We don't want to go through that. But you got to give your kids a chance to figure stuff out. You got to encourage problem solving with your children. And a lot of times, parents, if you self-reflect and be honest with yourself, do I encourage them to to do that?
I don't think a lot of us do.
No, because that's the thing about it. And like I said, I think I'm more like that because that's how my grandfather was like, I love my granddad, but I don't think he would encourage me. I think he just like, I ain't dealing with the shit. You got to deal with it. So you do it yourself.
Right.
But it made me grow up and figure it out. Right. You know what I'm saying? He was from that era of men. Like it wasn't going to be no calling. Like, hey, look, you want to go get it. Right.
And I think that's what we had. Like I had the same thing with my granddad. When I was over his house, bike break. I said, granddad, my bike broke. And mind you, I had 5 uncles. And he wouldn't let none of them. He said, "Well, your bike broke, fix it." Or the chain, whatever the case may be, wherever you want to ride the bike, you're gonna know how to fix the bike.
There you go. Tie the chain up. You go store, get your inner tube.
Right. Right.
Man, I ain't got time for that. Go figure it out.
Right. All he did was brought the tools on the porch and walked away.
Hey, and right now, here's the thing about it. The kids got a world at their fingertips. Google it, YouTube.
Right.
I mean, it's right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to sit there and let them go through stuff, right? You got to let them go through it, okay? The next thing I think parents need to really think about, and this is real, really want folks to understand is, you got to normalize failure as a learning experience. You got to, and we talked about a lot in grad school, failing forward. Failing forward, like, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. How many times did Thomas Edison mess up before he made a light bulb? It was like 1,000 times.
1,100 times, like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it, like, normalize, failure, as a learning experience. Like, okay, just because it didn't work, well, you tried it, then, you can understand, like, if it's not an option, that's one thing. Or if you have other responsibilities. But if you sit there and say, well, look, this didn't work, but you can be honest with yourself, you know what? Maybe if I add another one of these, or maybe I spend a little bit more time, and you're learning, right? You're learning how things can go, right? And I think that's the kind of thing where you got to be able to do that. And going back into it, guys, it's parents or guardians, OGs, whatever capacity you're in. I understand everybody's not built the same. So stuff we talking about, even we saying helping our kids, raising them to be resilient. We may not necessarily, it may not be in us to do that, right? I get it. So it can be a learning situation for you as well. But I'm gonna be real with you, man. A lot of times we talk our kids out of shit so much, because I told you it wasn't gonna work.
Let me
I tell you.
Let me ask you a question. I'm sorry, let me cut you off. Let me ask you a question on the normalizing failure as a learning experience. Do you think we don't normalize? A lot of this stuff reflects back on us. You get what I'm saying? Do you think we don't want them to normalize the failure and fail a lot to where they can learn, or fail a lot to where they know how to adjust things because we fear it's going to embarrass us?
Well, that plus I'm gonna be honest with you, depending on your experience with life and how much you know. That's why we're having this discussion.
Right.
Because, like, when we sharing this information, lab, it's not like we sharing information on a peer level. Like, okay, we just philosophizing. If you don't know, you don't know, but now you can learn it, right? So it's just on you to use the tool and toolkit. So it can be parents being embarrassed. It can be parents don't know. It can be parents just like, hey, they feel like, okay, they can take away from my shine. Whatever it is, right? That's why we're having this discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm going to be real with you. You can really talk, and that's all of us. We can let folks talk us out of stuff so much.
Talk ourselves out of stuff.
Exactly. Because people say, man, that didn't work. Man, I remember my ex-father-in-law hating that joker. Everything I used to just mention when I was younger, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. This, that, and that. And I don't think he was like that with me. I think he just was like that. with doing it. And what he did, I didn't know.
Right.
Even though I thought he had some real crummy ideas that he always tried, but it was just in his mind it would work and everything like that. But I just remember he was very, very adamant. Always everything that I said, it wouldn't work. And he's like, damn, man, you go try. But the good part about it, I'm very, very conscious with my children to not shoot shit down.
Right.
I ain't gonna say and say, just that's a good idea. Just agree because do your research, look into it. Yeah, look into it and everything. I'm a big proponent, man. Don't go on stuff blind. Got some data,
right? Put
your toe in the water, see if it's hot or cold. Just kind of do that. But you got to kind of get your kids to like, listen. Don't look at failure as it's just the end of the world. You got your education. You got your experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what to do and what not to
do. Exactly. You do not know what is behind the door.
Right.
But you'll never find out unless you open it. Period. Thanks for calling Change Your Lives.
On his way.
What? Thanks for calling Change Your Lives.
Hey, Poochie, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? Who's this on the phone?
Hey, this Chris, man. What's going on with you?
What's that?
Yes.
Hey, I'm checking you out on TikTok.
You like my sweatshirt, brother?
Yeah, man. I'm digging your swag.
What's happening with you, man? What you think about tonight's topic, brother?
I'm just trying to check in on it, man. What you got going on with it?
We're talking about are you raising resilient kids? We're asking that question. Are you raising resilient kids and giving parents like tips to help? If as far as raising resilient kids and some things might have setbacks on it. Just having that self-reflection because all of us, especially me with adult children, just like you have, lab as well. Some things we did right, some things we did wrong, some things we didn't even know. And you look back at it, but that's why I want to have that conversation in regards to are you raising your kids to be resilient? You there, Chris?
Well, it's a good topic, bro. I'm finna tune in, man. I'm gonna check you out, bro.
All right, bro.
You looking good on that. What's up? What's going on, Lab?
What's going on, Chris? You good? He listened to that TikTok. He can't do both.
Okay, I'm gonna check you out, bro.
I'll talk with you. Take it easy, bro. Appreciate tuning in. What's up, Don? I see Miss Mix-a-Lot coming in on the TikTok. Appreciate that, Don. What's going on? Don had an interesting topic on her Instagram and everything. We'll talk about the end of the show.
Slick says I was hard on Carlos, but he knew to try all he could before he came to me.
Well, but that's the thing about it, and as we evolve as parents, we know the kids. Okay, right. Let me try this with this one because it was stuff I did with one kid I couldn't do with the other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you just learn that out of experience. We got Savvy Plister PR says, great topic. Many argue that this new generation is more sensitive than previous ones. Can they tolerate us pushing resilience? Both of you share your thoughts. Again, the question was asked is, the new generation, the perception of the new generation is new. Can they handle somebody pushing them? Some not. I think from my personal experience, I have to be very, very objective when looking at myself and my children because I know they ain't cut the way I'm cut. But I will say this in regards to there are things that they go through that are different. With doing it, and I'm gonna have give a couple scenarios later on and stuff like that. But there's some things you like, nah, man, look, they can't handle this, that, and that. But then there's some things that they deal with, like shit, they handle it pretty good,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
That's stuff that they deal with that we didn't deal with growing up. You know what I'm saying? They didn't deal with constant. We didn't deal with constant stuff in your face, like constantly seeing things negatively about us, about other folks. So that little bit of stuff, it causes stress. We don't realize how much the phone causes stress on our children, but it does cause stress on them. And that in itself is something that we just didn't have to deal with. I was thinking about this today, Pooch. I remember when I was younger and I could have a girlfriend over here, a girlfriend over there, a girlfriend over here. And I didn't have that, but I was just thinking. And they didn't know where I was at because I didn't have a phone. When if they call me home, I'm at home. If I wasn't, I'm gone. I hit you when I get back.
Yeah.
There's no way to, you know what I'm saying? There was no, wherever I was at, whatever I was doing, I was into that because I didn't have no one calling me or no one seeing what I was doing or where I was at or whatever. Because I was focused on what I was, you know what I'm saying, where I was at. And that's the difference between then and now, because now you can't, not the girlfriend part, but you can't even basically go to the store now without somebody calling and see, well, yo, just relaxing or something like that. So it's a difference.
Yeah, that was like prior to beepers.
Right.
You know
right.
But with no kind of clamps on you and everything like that. No. I agree with you, man. I agree with you, guys. I agree with you with that layout. Another thing when we just talk about trying to encourage practicing strategies, to encourage resiliency, is just promoting a growth mindset. But just like, hey man, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thinking about that. Encourage a kid to damn think. That's why I think that's one of the most important things that a parent can teach their child is how to damn think.
Problem solve.
Yeah, even if they didn't figure it out, man, I see you trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And parents, listen, we got to put our egos to the side sometimes. It's all right to say, okay, our kid is smart. Because one thing I'm gonna tell you something. What I've noticed over the years, just dealing with, other people's children, not my children, is that parents, when they're in a control perspective, and when I say control, elementary, that younger, that hey, my child is my child, that my child that, they're good kids and they ain't did this and they smart, right?
Right.
When they hit the middle school and definitely high school, when they're pretty much now they thinking on their own, you have less control of what they do on a day-to-day basis, right? Especially in high school, parents are less quick to brag. Right. Because, like, it is you can see and say the things that they do in the elementary because your ass got hands-on control.
Right.
But when they get older, now they're thinking for themselves. And nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with that thinking for themselves. But you got to be able to sit here and be like, hey, man, it's just different from what you think.
Right.
Because, we'll be like, what? I'm not going to say and say, well, that's stupid, Will.
Right.
Will, but I ain't going to say, Will, where do you get that from? Right. Like, nah, well, this, that, and that. Damn, son, look here, man.
Right.
That's why I'm very, very big on understanding the difference between a fact and an opinion. That's your opinion. You're entitled to that, but you got to take what come along with that. I got to do the same thing with mine. You can't refute it, a fact.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, just teaching your kid how to think, how to look at stuff, how to process, how to reason, how to deduct. And if you don't know it, go find some exercise to help yourself.
Right.
But if you can just say, all right, man, cool, that's good. Tell your daughter, okay, cool, I see you working on it, keep trying. Some kind of way, but like, look, you're encouraging them to think. You encourage them to take some damn initiative. You're not stepping on them every damn time that they may be thinking out of the box. That's stupid. Or why the hell? Because when we did the show the other week about who you voting for, those are kind of things. The reason why I vote for a person may not be different. We have the things that were going on with, they were talking about, I think Barack Obama came out with the brothers with different stuff. And people like, hey, you can't, I don't like him approaching us about this and about that.
Right.
Everybody, for the most part, are arguing with a lot of just about their simple opinion.
Right.
The thing of it is that facts are facts. And I think a lot of times when people can't articulate themselves or explain themselves, then we get a name calling. Oh, you dumb as hell, you stupid as hell, this, that, and that. Well, why you say that, man? It ain't different from you. I don't necessarily disagree with what Barack said. I do think it'd been better just more so encourage folks to vote. You know what I'm saying? Because you sitting there trying, this pooch is speaking. This ain't no offense to nobody. Right. But if I know you ain't gonna process what I'm saying,
chest tats don't work with everybody.
That's what I'm talking for.
Right.
Like if you only understand basic civics, this, that, and that, because like if I'm trying to sit here and say this, what she should, and if you really don't even know what the capacity that job does, or even like a mayor, this, that, and that, and you ain't willing to even think and look at it, we waste an effort. Man, go be active. Right. Because at the end of the day, there were people that lost their lives for you. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
But I do feel, again, it's still my opinion, I'm not going to have no heated discussion with somebody that ain't even processing what I'm saying.
They already got their mind pretty much 99% made up, and no matter what you tell them, they ain't gonna change it.
Or there's some folks you can have a deep intellectual, a real intellectual conversation with, and the songs just need to be, hey man, I think Falcon gonna win. I don't think so.
Right.
We need to leave that shit right there. At the Falcons.
Right.
At the Falcons. Don't go no further.
Right.
Don't go no further.
You are exactly right though, because you can tell when you have a conversation with somebody how far you can take it.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much they give themselves away just by conversation. And then you start having a conversation with somebody, and they start talking all off the wall. You're like, yeah, we don't keep this at how the Braves do it yesterday, because we, you know what I'm saying? You just know you can't have a deep intellectual, conversation with that person.
This shit ain't gonna go so far.
Right.
So we need to kind of just be mindful of that before we start going too deep. Or need to go on name calling. But some people can't get in their feelings or whatever.
And I think a lot of times when it comes to problem solving and I forget what they call it. Call it thinking something. I forget. This slips my mind.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times we weren't taught that as younger. I mean, we were lucky enough to go. Some parents just wasn't taught that critical thinking. I know people in my neighborhood that I grew up with that went to college, but their parents just made that they just took care of everything for them. You know what I'm saying? Like it was no issues. Like they had not to worry about anything. So when they did go to college, they couldn't think of. They couldn't function.
No, you're right. Guys, tonight, so we're asking, are you raising resilient kids? And we're just going over a couple strategies to help, help your kids be more resilient. Another one, guys, want to think about is just, fostering emotional intelligence. Here at the end, we start talking about emotional intelligence. In theory, we're just talking about not letting your emotions override your basic intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for calling Change Your Lives. Thanks for calling Change Your Lives.
Hey, I found worms in my stool the other night.
He's back. What you do about it?
Well, that's what I called to ask for. How do you deal with loose bowels and worms in your stool?
I'm not sure. You have to research that on Google and see what happens.
Well, this is a medical show, isn't it? I'd like to know about how to
No, this not
take
medical.
care of worms in my stool. My ass is bleeding out.
This ain't medical. You talked them up.
I told you, man. What happened when cousins have sex?
You talked them up.
What happened, man? But we start talking about again that fostering emotional intelligence, being able to not let your emotions override stuff.
Right.
I'm gonna be real with you, Lab. A lot of times when we see kids studying for a test, they start crying, and is your ass gonna start, crying with them? They don't get picked for a certain play.
Mm-hmm.
Now you sitting there where you can sit here and hey man, go through it.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't pick me. Now they crying. Now I'm gonna quit the team because coach didn't pick me or didn't play me. And not sitting there, you gotta let your kids
go through it.
Well, why did that happen?
Right.
I understand you upset. Hell, I feel bad that you didn't get an opportunity.
Right.
But is it why? Is it, because of something that you did do or you didn't do? Figure it out. Why didn't you get picked? You didn't get picked because they only had 10 slots and it was 20 kids.
Right.
So it wasn't that. Sometimes it's just numbers.
Yeah.
You might have didn't do the best performance.
I was about to say,
in your opinion.
Right.
You got to be able, we start talking about fostering them. We got to sit here and just listen, man, personal accountability, son. Are you thinking about certain stuff? Are you really thinking about it in regards to, hey, what? Don't let you being upset override your process of why this thing didn't happen.
Right.
And you, as a parent, can't get so upset where you're like, well, I'm just going to pull him off the team. I'm just going to take him out of the team.
I think a lot of times we always think we're doing our best. I think, and our children will definitely think they're doing their best when they might not be. And it might be, like you said, 20 people. It is just 10 more people ahead of you that just did better than you. That's all that is.
Absolutely. Savage Bliss PR says, with the presence of cell phones, global exposure, parents have less influence. Absolutely, critical thinking is a skill so many people lack. Sexy Redbone say, y'all talk to him. LOL. No way, Jose. But you think about it though, Lab, in regards to just what we just talking about. Make sure that you fostering emotional intelligence. Me being a rec football coach over 20 years, there were so many times that parents came to me was saying like, "Hey, I think they should be playing this. I think they should be playing that." And I'm gonna tell you something. One thing about it, man, and I see some of my former parents. I ain't never blow you off. I let you talk,
right? And
I would ask the question. So, who do you think they need to be playing ahead of? Now we only got the one ball.
Right.
We have so many. And if I got 3 that I have to carry, I can't have 8 carry the ball.
That's
true. I got 3.
Right.
Do you really think that your kid is better than one of them 3? I can't have. See.
We're gonna say yes.
No. But see, some situations. Well, that's the thing about it. I don't, and I tell you, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't believe that. I really don't.
Right.
That don't mean kid can't do this. Because at the end of the day, everything is not going to be where everybody get a chance. We can't get everybody a chance. Why? Because we got to narrow down to 3. Why? Because we got to practice those 3. And we can't be sitting there keep trying to give 8 an opportunity, and we ain't got so much. We got an hour and a half to work this for 2 or 3 days a week. Make sense?
Right. And that helps the emotional intelligence, but it also helps your children work through disappointment.
Yeah, and also
disappointment every day.
But I'm telling you, Lamb, a lot of that stuff comes from the parents. If you're gonna be like, hey, listen, hey, I understand you hurt. But we got to start, feel bad. You know my rule. Where I always say 48 hours.
Right.
Cry it out, feel it out.
Get it up out you.
Get it up out you. 48 hours later, we got to get back on track. Depending on what capacity you are, you're in certain leadership positions. Hey, man, look, we done got cheated, this, that, and that. Sometimes you're like, look, man, let me, you might have to make a decision right then and there.
Right.
I would always tell parents after a tough loss or something like that, period. After a game, hey, y'all, look, I talk with y'all Monday. I can't. Emotions high, this, that, and that. We need to talk on Monday. I got to talk. We will talk on Monday.
Right.
I'm not talking to you in your mind.
Right now. Why you upset?
Yeah.
Right.
Yo, you ain't right. I ain't right.
Right.
Let's talk Monday.
Okay.
We got to make sure that we foster in a situation where we teaching our kids, hey, man, you got to think. Think before you speak. Because that's when you sit there, I cuss my supervisor out. If you see these videos, these kids arguing with the damn police. No, it ain't wrong. I seen a video with a New England Patriots football player arguing with some police officers, and the officer actually said, "Hey man, your tag expired." He fussing with the officer. Now he young boy. He called his mom. This is an NFL player. He called his mom on the phone. His mother was telling the officer, in the system it isn't updated. It should be updated, but it's not. His tag, and the officer saying, "Listen, the tag expired. The tag is still expired. Was showing. So if it's updating the system, it's not showing the tag in ours. Well, we're pulling up this thing. It's saying it expired." The boy like, get out of here. He arguing back and forth with them, and then they get out. They arrest him and everything. He's putting up suit for being racist. It's not. You got put over your tag being expired.
Right.
But then here's the thing about it. When we say emotional intelligence, you want to argue and everything. You call your mama. You can't think for yourself.
Right,
you got your mama talking.
Right.
You made all the way NFL. The damn messed up part about it? They found weed in the car.
Just take
You riding dirty.
Right. And
you gonna, come on, just have like, look, man, I know I got shit in my car. Let me let these folks just whatever.
Write this ticket.
Yeah, write this ticket. Keep it moving. But you call your mama. And that's the thing about, like, you get what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
You wrong off the real. I ain't even supposed to be. Hey, officer, I'm sorry. Give me the ticket. Like you said, now you're in trouble in the NFL because they don't find weed in your car.
Right.
All this other kind of stuff. Come on now. And that's the thing about it. Not letting your logic or intellect get overridden by your emotion. That's what we say. We want to make sure we foster emotional intelligence. Yeah, somebody say something?
No. I keep pressing this button over here. I'm trying to stop pressing this button.
Savvy Publicity Yard said we have to be authentic. Kids will not be liked by everyone, and it's not always jealousy. We have to teach them that they may not be for everyone. So many parents blame it on envy. Oh, I agree. I agree. Everybody in the world ain't gonna like you. Everybody ain't gonna be your friend.
Right.
As we get older, we find out that word friend,
gets narrow.
Yeah, and you see shit. You see what your boy Puffy going through. You have all these parties, all these friends, and you can't find one of them.
Right.
And when you want to look for them, they're on other damn podcasts.
Talking about
man,
you.
we were doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your partner gonna get his ass whooped with you. Your partner ain't gonna let nobody talk about you.
Right.
Your partner gonna check for you.
Right.
But people sometimes
in front of your face and behind your back.
Exactly.
Right.
And you have a very few of those. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure we be very. That's a great point. We got to be very, very careful when we start trying to bring folks into certain stuff. Again, tonight's show we're asking the question: are you raising resilient kids? And I'm just getting a couple tips in regards to that. One key thing is, guys, I think can help parents is you got to model resiliency. Mm-hmm. Let your kids see you go through something. Be a little transparent. Damn, hey man, shoot. My car broke down. I got to figure out how we got to do this. I got this bill.
Right.
Let them just see you work some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Get this. Let me do that. We ran out of gas. We did this, and
I
forgot this from the store. Just some things where they see you think where something may just didn't work, and you figured it out.
Keisha Muse says very, very narrow. Hey Keisha.
What's up, Keisha?
She's on the Chosen Generation podcast yesterday.
Okay, awesome.
She said, "Yes, that's true."
That's a new show.
It's been on a couple of months.
Okay, cool. What's up, Keisha? I appreciate that. Yeah, man. But when your kids can see, because we can talk to our kids that black and blue, right? Mm-hmm. We talk, but at the end of the day, they still will watch. Mm-hmm. I ain't damn stupid. Yeah. I mean, I got 4 boys, this, that, and that, and they got to see dad in a certain way,
right?
Because they ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Right. Hey, Pop, well, you said this or whatever.
Right.
So they got to see me do certain things. They got to see me every time things go wrong. When me and their mom went through a divorce, they ain't see me pump.
Right.
They see me go through that shit, this, that, and that. Man,
right.
I had to figure out how everything that my ex-wife did, I had to get that. You know what I'm saying? Not that I couldn't. Right. And she had to go through the same thing too. Mm-hmm. My ex-wife did most of the cooking. She did a lot of the laundry stuff. Did a lot of stuff at the house.
Right.
Okay, now daddy got to do that. Right. Y'all here with daddy. And they had to see that shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It ain't punking daddy.
Right.
Daddy, and I'm
still strong.
I got to hear, hey, shit, don't tell like moms. Man.
Of course.
But they see it like it ain't punking daddy, right? I ain't doing nothing that verse. I ain't sitting to go with your mama. I ain't doing this, that we figuring it out.
Right.
Took me about a good year and a half. Once we got stable, cool. But they seen me
go through it. Yeah.
Go through all that kind of stuff. So you have to make sure that you got to model some kind of thing with that, because it's very easy to give instructions. Be tough. Don't let nobody don't with sticks and stones break your bones, and don't let nobody say something to hurt you. But if they see you flip the hell out of every time somebody say something, because I'm gonna be honest with you, what my children did see was too much of me turning the other cheek, and I had to say, look here, I ain't MLK.
Right.
Look, y'all fucking say too much stuff about me around my and I had to start checking folks. So they had to see that, so that was the kind of thing. But I always had to still be conscious. Was I always right in what I did? Nah. Right. Most of the time, but I can live with, okay, cool. I don't feel bad about it, stuff like that. But I think when we start talking about teaching your kids to be resilient, one of the best instruction you have is just be that model for them.
Right.
For them to see you go through certain stuff. And lastly, and this is very, very important, guys, you gotta support your kids, but don't overprotect them. Support your kids, but don't overprotect them. When they going through stuff and stuff getting rough for them and everything like that, you're like, hey man, courage, but you can't just stop it
and take it over.
You know what I'm saying? Because you so damn scared.
Right.
But let me just step in.
Right.
No. Because if you again, the time that you spend letting them go through it and letting them work out all kind of stuff with that, it will save you so much time in the future where you don't have to wrestle and deal with certain stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And kids will get to the point to where they say, well, shoot, they fixed it last time. I know you're gonna fix this time. No, I got that with my children. They in their 30s. I think that they call me first when they got a money issue. I think they don't try to solve. I noticed it. Like recently, I was like, you know what? I think they just call me first when they need money. So now I'm saying no. Like, nah, I ain't got it. So now you have to figure out your next move.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not going to solve their problem. At first, I had the issue of solving the problem. Like, okay, I want want them walking. Well, if you gotta walk, you just gotta walk. Cause I walked when I walked to work. Y'all saw me walk to work when we didn't have a car. Y'all saw me go to school. When y'all would figure out how to get to school and all that stuff. So y'all gonna have to do the same thing. I mean, y'all in y'all 30s. I don't want to be the first choice. I don't want to be the first person you call, your first solution. I want to be the last solution.
Yeah. Well, even if you don't be the last, go through a couple of them alphabets.
Yeah.
Go through
go through A, B, C, D, and then hit me up at E.
Yeah, I don't want your OnlyFans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't see you selling that on Craigslist, but I do want you to sit here just like you say, just figure it out.
Right.
And I'm gonna be real with you, lad. Like when I was talking about, I shared a story about when we went to me and Will went fishing. And I was just like, hey man, he was just so frustrated. Let's go. Daddy can't put his word. No, you do
it. Right.
And man, when I say he had a confidence of like, look, because I didn't quit, and I got this and I got that, and he just felt so good about himself. But on the flip side of it, there was a dividend I had got because Poochie, I damn sure ready to get the hell out.
Right. But he had a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah. But me, I'm sitting there watching his ass and catching shit all morning. I was ready to go.
Right.
But I got to stand on my sword like, hey, man, look here.
Right.
Hey.
We're going to say till you catch something.
And then what happened was, I stopped catching stuff and he caught it. But he realized then he got a lesson for a lifetime. Hey, man, I can actually do all this stuff myself. I ain't got to ask nobody.
Right.
There was so much that came out of there along with the confidence with doing it. But you got to, parents, I know that shit is frightening. It is frightening to see your kid go through stuff. It is frightening to see your child cry. It's scary to see them just try to figure it out. But I'm telling you, man, let them do that shit so you don't have to be doing it later.
Right.
Real talk.
Slick says, Lab used to say, me and Carlos's problem was we thought other people should act, think, or see things as we did. That's true. They have a way of seeing things. I'm like, everybody don't think like that. Everybody don't see things like that. But it was their way. It was their system. You know what I'm saying? It's a good system that her and Carlos had built together. And they worked through it well. So
yeah, but you know what, lad? But that's the cool part of having discussions like this. Because again, my way is not the best way. My way is just my way. And I, is somebody that raised folks here, I can sit here and say that I don't never get in conversations about what I did or didn't do. Because people always throw that same stuff. Don't put them out. My boys, 2 weeks after graduation, they get the hell out of my house.
Right.
And they ready to go.
Right.
They ready to go. And people are like, well, that's too soon. Like, I always say, what you gonna teach them in 0 to 18?
Right.
I mean, 18 to 25 that you can teach 0 to 18.
Right.
And so that's the thing about that. Go back to I told you, us as parents, what you didn't do. I don't put my kids out; they be ready to leave, right? But I never get into a conversation with somebody tell them this is what you're supposed to do because I did that with my kids from the moment they came out the mama.
Right.
This is how things are. So when at 18, I felt comfortable with them leaving. I was a little bit nervous with my first one because you're first.
Right.
With leaving the house. Right. But the rest of them, shit. Chris Brack, the third one just left. Shit, I'm cool.
Right. I think my difference was my first one and my second were so close together that then my second was my daughter. So you kind of call her the daughter. I didn't, so I had two boys and a girl. But I think they had an understanding that I didn't tell them that they had to go, but they wanted to go.
Yeah.
They wanted to be on their own and do their own thing because there's nothing like trying to do your own thing in somebody else's house. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Nothing like trying to do your own thing, be going out and partying 2 o'clock in the morning and come home and all the doors are locked because you ain't coming in my house at 2 o'clock in the morning. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Told them over there, get out.
Right.
I wouldn't even. I hope one of my kids tune in. I ain't
right. That's why sometimes when people say, "Well, that's too early. That's too soon." No, it's not because that's when they start developing their own way of what they want to do their own rules, and those rules don't apply at your house.
And again, I ain't never just put my kids out. They left in situations.
Some kids just want to go.
Where the thing that is, I didn't just throw them in the woods. I prepped them to leave, and they just like in it. You see that in the damn animal kingdom. The damn cub don't stay with their mom forever. The birds don't either.
Right.
At some point, and the mama don't sit there or daddy don't sit around to make sure they flying right. Once you leave, you left. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that your fear of them, failing or something happening or they can't survive, it can't be greater than your feeling one. I'm taking care of this grown person.
Keisha Muse says, as a parent, I felt my greatest accomplishment was that my kids would know what to do in a crisis.
Yeah. But that's the thing about it. Again, we start looking at we just talk about those things and strategies you can help make them more resilient. Just to come mistakes. And that's just really like say just jumping in every time something happened. The crisis happened. Hey, your car broke down. This, that. Chris had a fender bender. All right, Dad, won't know what to do. Hey, take a picture of these couple things, do this kind of stuff. Number one, you okay? All right, make sure you get a picture of the insurance, call the police so you can get an incident report.
Right.
Don't let them leave. Get a picture of their tag, this, that, and that, and all that kind of stuff. You remember what I told you? Cool. All right, call make you any questions. Ain't gotta be no fussing or whatever. Make sure you good. Do these 3 or 4 things. Holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no panicking. I can't believe this, that. Do all that. You gotta get in no argument.
Right.
All that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I'm gonna be real with you, man. Even just thing with Chris, because that's the latest one left the crib. Man, his maturation from last year to this year, night and day. Not saying he was a baby, but just he out there handling stuff on his own and stuff. And you have to put that in your kids. Just we're dealing with crisis things happen because you're gonna get sick, you're gonna lose jobs, you're gonna get disappointments, you're gonna get denials. That's gonna happen.
Right.
And you cannot flip the hell out because of that. Now you call me, hey Dad, look, this didn't happen or whatever, this, that, and that. Keep your head up, son, this, that, and that, and all that kind of stuff. So you got a plan. We have a logical conversation, this, that, and that. But man, I wasn't listening to MF, da. I ain't playing that shit with my children.
Right.
And I will tell you this, I'll be lying to you if I know people did. There were times that my kids went through stuff, other people, family members or this, that, and that. Well, what you wanted, I wouldn't do this, that, and that. They did intervene. And I really, no, y'all get the hell out of there. And I had no problem saying, hey, y'all crazy as hell.
Right.
And I tell them what the hell she damn talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, they ain't did that with their kids. And you don't want to do that. But let me tell you something. You can have your kids messed up worrying about other folks' feelings because they don't give a damn about sitting there pausing and telling your kids some stuff that's out of the sphere of what you done raised. So no, hell no, don't listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't. And this comes from a person. I don't mind Uncle Lab hollering at my kids. I ain't even got to know about the conversation. But I always tell my kid, make sure there's somebody credible you talk to.
Right.
Don't listen to that damn fool right there. You know what everything with that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're telling you, I walk out this, that, and that. But if you do that, are they telling you what to do in place of?
Right.
No, you might want to rethink who you're listening to. They don't mean no harm for you, but that's silly shit they do.
Right.
I raised you to think.
Right.
So if you do this
about these consequences, critical thinking.
Exactly.
And see, you want to leave, but what's next?
I ain't telling you not to leave your job.
Right.
I'm telling you not to leave your job today.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I ain't saying that. I ain't saying, hey, this is not a bad situation, but I am saying you might not want to do this right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to sit here and just be able to put that in the head where they thinking. Like you just can't move or be impulsive because you can't really handle the results of what being impulsive. Now you ain't got no job. Now you ain't got nowhere to stay. Now you done sit here and messed up sever the whole relationship that you can't come. My bad. I didn't mean to. I was upset. Because you said some stuff at that particular time. Like that wasn't some mad stuff you said.
Right.
That was some stuff you said. Because I shared that with you in private or whatever. You just brought that up. God, dog.
Right.
And we got to make sure we teach our kids, like, hey, man, listen, that, you can't go too deep with certain stuff.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Get out of the conversation. Hang up the phone. Walk away. Right? Because, somebody jabbing. You know how that's going to come out, right? So we got to make sure we put that in our kids. Like, know when to stop, right then and there because you're human.
Right.
You are human. I'm human. I got a point. Well, like, look, I ain't no damn punk. So, I know, like, look, man, I took left, right. Hey, look here, and I'm ducking and bobbing and weaving. After a while, like, look, I got hit.
Right.
I might be inclined to do something.
Right.
Right. So just try to avoid certain situation with that. again, we're talking about. Ask the question: are you raising resilient kids? We're going over a couple common mistakes that can inhibit it. Sometimes parents will get punished mistakes, but we need to be teaching them. I told you not to do that. They on punishment. Mom and daddy might pop them. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like sometimes the baby walking. We, just like they touch the stove and they pop them.
Right.
Like let them find out that shit hot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you.
Everything does not have to be like, okay, it's punished because of that, because they thinking and they learning. And we sometimes get into it. Dang, Dad, my bad about doing it. It's all right, dog. But you understand why? You had a kind of idea. Sometimes you've been told. You've been told why, but you want to find out on your own and stuff like that. Right. Ain't gotta be. I told your dumb butt not to do this. Because one thing about it, Lab, and I say this, and I truly believe this: when we mess up, we know we messed up, and I don't need Lab to remind me. I need Lab will give me a damn solution.
Right.
I don't need Lab to tell me how stupid I am. I don't need Lab to tell me, ask me 8 damn times, why did you do it?
Right.
I don't know why I damn did it. I did it being greedy. I did it being selfish. Okay? You know why the hell I did it.
Right.
But can you help me get out of this? Can you help me move
forward?
Help me fix it? Not, shut the hell up. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to make sure that, hey, we're not so, again, parents, man, we love our kids, man, but we have to let them go through certain stuff. We're doing that. Parents can't have an overemphasis on perfection. It got to be this way. It got to be that way. Man, one thing about it, when you raising kids and setting standards, we got to understand that every standard can't be met. There are certain things that my oldest son was state champion in the hurdles. I think PJ was a great hurdler, but he still couldn't run like T.
Right.
There are things that PJ could do from a processing standpoint, personality standpoint. T couldn't touch him.
Right.
I could have now. Again, I got standards. My standards is on effort, but the results come out of it. It's just the stuff you better than me then.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
And we start like, hey, you got to do this because that was done. I did it. Your brother did it. Mama did it. So, you can't control a lot of time results be. Because Lab faster than me.
Right. That's
if Lab can finish something sooner than I can, he just can. But at the end of the day, you can't test my effort. If I'm giving 150%, we're doing something, right? Trying. That's what I'm supposed to do, right?
That's it.
So
that's perfection to you because you're doing everything you can to make it happen. That's
exactly. And a lot of times we get so caught up into, and it's a good thing that we were glad our kids having successes, but we get so caught into it like, hey, this didn't happen. Well, why didn't you do this, that, and that? I don't know.
Right.
It just beat me. It just didn't come out like that.
Right.
When you go to college, you just gonna have some class that's a buzzsaw. You studied.
Right.
You tried your best. Right? You tried your best. And it just didn't turn into an A. It turned into a C.
And I know my classes was math when I was in college. That I could not get the whole concept of it when in grad school. I couldn't get it. So I knew that was my weak part, my weak spot.
Yeah.
I knew I was weak in that. I have been weak in it all through school.
And you can put, that's the thing that a lot of times parents are missed because number one, they ain't did it.
Right.
But like I say, it's just you done got certain things that happen where my kid was doing this, my kid was doing that. Then when they get out of it, they don't know how to handle it. In regards, he didn't get an A. He didn't come in first.
Do you think parents should let their kids learn what they weak at? Like if you got brothers and sisters, your sister can draw, or your brother can draw very well, and you just can't draw. That's your weak spot. But you can add up stuff by just looking at it, or you can write a song or learn how to play an instrument by listening to it. You know what I'm saying?
But check this out though. I agree with you. I don't kind of favor the word you can't do it or you bad at it. You just ain't good as them. They, you know what I'm saying? Like
I just said weak.
I ain't
saying you bad at
it. Just say even you weak. You know what I'm saying?
It's a weak spot.
Because you just can't do it like that.
Right. You're not gonna run the 100 meter in 0.2.
Because check this out. You can see him lay tracks and do a blend on a mix and hear it. I don't, like you said, this is the blend of the mix.
Right.
And you telling me, like you hear it. I'm like, I ain't never hearing it. Because you got a gift I ain't got. And so sometimes is that not I ain't weak, you're just more exceptional with something. Now I can try it.
Right.
And everything, but I ain't gonna necessarily say I'm weak at it. I just ain't nowhere near as good as you. That's why we're going back to the failing forward. I think sometimes ego can blind anybody. You feel like, okay, I should do this, I should feel that. I've heard many times people say, well, if they do it, I should get it. Or they feel like they do it, I know I can. Yeah, or you feel like, because like I told you with the whole thing with the athletics, every kid should get a chance. We can't get every kid a chance. I'm just saying realistically, and if I only have an hour and a half to practice,
right,
I have to spend some part of practice,
right.
So I can't take 8 of y'all doing the same thing. We got to condense it. You know what I'm saying?
So we can get some practice in with the ones that can do
exactly,
right.
Exactly. So because we got to learn how to do the actual play, and a lot of times parents, selfish reason, unless they did it before, then they understand. But you can't really go into that. But I always say in leadership, you got to be two things: consistent and fair. Got to be consistent and fair, and take what come along with it, because everybody ain't gonna be cool with what your decision is with doing that. But again, tonight we're talking about what I keep saying. Ask the question: are you raising resilient kids? We just went through a couple of things. I think the parents make common mistakes, and the last one with that common mistakes is lack of emotional validation, ignoring or dismissing a child's feelings, teaching them to suppress emotions, or with doing certain stuff. Like if a kid feel down about, hey, this didn't work out, oh man, straighten out. No, it's okay to feel bad about it, but again, how you gonna rebound for it? See, you ain't gotta. There's nothing wrong with feeling bad about the failure. It's something wrong about being stuck on it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't get picked. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, hey man, look, feel bad, get that shit out. So we still gotta do this other stuff.
Move on.
Got to.
48 hours.
Got to. Hey, got to, man.
Right.
So you gotta, just don't be so stuck on, because it's weird. Because I coach girls track, and I looked at higher levels. I had a friend of mine. She shared with me, in adulthood, how boys, like if a football team loses a state championship, and the boys start crying, like everybody, it'll be all right. They'll pat them on the back. But if girls lose something and they start crying, it's like it's more condemning. Y'all can be like girls,
right?
It's weird. Right. It's weird because
I think it's more of they feel like the boys worked harder for them. You know what I'm saying?
Or just try not to have them show that emotion,
right? Because
you always more so like you always kind of condemning females of being weaker, or taking certain things. So we kind of trying to just push that out. But at the end of the day, man, you got to work through them emotions.
Right.
You got to work your ass to be so damn cold and stone about shit, and they'll bust. Real talk, man.
That's true.
Real talk, shit. You
could be the cold, hardest person in the world, and bust.
I mean, in that wrong, say, hey, that hurt my feelings. Or, hey, man, that disappointed me. Like, no, you care?
Right.
Yeah, I tell you what, with that girl, I liked her.
Right.
Now I ain't gotta dwell on it.
Right.
But yeah, I got a right to feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying?
I have to walk her home for a whole week.
Yeah, walk with your ass. What old boy said in the wood, he said, you gave him some. No, I look better than him. That shit funny.
Right.
Hey guys, and lastly, couple quick tips in regards to just practicing it. Things that help you just with your child being resilient. Number one, you just practice stepping back. Just hey, let you figure it out a little bit, and if you get to a point where you go so far into it, hey, let me step in and help you out with that. Encourage a little risk taking, but kind of keep them limits. Just like, hey, I'm gonna let you kind of do this, but just you know those boundaries you want to have. Well, hey, look, I ain't gonna let you just go off the deep end, but just kind of take
give
a little
rope.
Yeah, there you go. Give him a little rope.
Give him a little rope. Don't let him be a cowboy. Yeah. Just give him a little rope.
You can frame challenges. There can be opportunities. Just like, listen, if you go try this out, If it don't work, I remember I shared the story. If it doesn't work, it didn't work. If it doesn't, you see how that goes.
Right.
I remember I shared that story about with PJ and Torian about go selling the candy.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it. Hey, because I always say with T, my oldest, man, go sell this candy. You know, the trip to Orlando, that fifth grade trip. That MF said no. Now in my mind, if he would have sold one box,
right,
one box just went out there, I'd have paid for his trip.
Right.
But he just said, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
P went out there, man, PJ shit, 2 or 3 pages.
Right.
He done sold over a couple grand in one day.
Right.
I got to go back out there tomorrow. Right. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But the whole thing about it, I'm just, hey, man, go out there and do it. He didn't want to go do that, right? But you just kind of just like, hey, you putting them out there with certain things, get out there and earn that, that kind of thing. And it kind of...
That just wasn't his cup of tea.
Now, here's the deal. When you, like I said, I offered it to my son. I didn't tell him I was going to pay for his trip.
Right.
But I did say, if you do get sell half, I'll pay for the other half.
Right.
That was my thing with him.
Right.
But in my mind, if he'd have sold one, I'd have just paid for it.
Right.
Because I felt like he had some kind of skin in the game.
And he made effort.
He went over the level. But T was just like, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I saw that to say, you ain't necessarily going to get the result from doing it. They easily like, nah, I ain't doing it, whatever. So just kind of, keep that in mind. Emphasize and validate, hey, man, I'm proud of you.
Most definitely.
I'm proud of you. You tried it, you worked it out, it didn't work out. Hey, this, that, and that. Because everything we did in life, that shit didn't work out. We done bumped our head. We done made mistakes.
Many a time.
And you think your kid ain't?
Right.
And do we need to beat them up because they tried to do something and it didn't work? You know what I'm saying? Let them know, hey, Ace, I'm proud of you for trying.
Right. You tried.
You know what you did wrong now. You know you can do that, you know. Me and Wilson the other night, you saying this stuff with the band, you have a problem. Well, where you don't study. Where you ain't practicing. Like, stop telling me what you're not, and you're not doing the things to be better.
Right. You're not getting better because you're not doing what you need to get better.
Because I hear you, and I'm listening, but I ain't got time for this conversation.
Right.
If I know you ain't doing what you're supposed to do.
And that's that.
You know what I'm saying? And we ain't going no further with it. So kind of just had them conversation, guys. But listen, man, I appreciate the conversation with you guys and stuff. Been a great topic. And I think parents need to really think about this more. We start talking about raising resilient kids, because when you don't, you get some funky situation with adults. And let's keep it real. We don't want to have nobody 30, 40 years old, can't handle the house, disappointment, this, that, and that. They crumbling, and we still dealing with stuff with them and their job, with their relationship,
right?
With just whatever. So the sooner you can try to get in, get on board with helping your child to get some thicker skin. Because, like I said, I sit in board meetings all the time where I see, some guys just because somebody don't agree with them or somebody don't like their idea, they be about to sit there and cry. Grown ass men that have been successful in life, but they so damn tempered. They so weak.
Right.
So weak.
Right.
But you don't listen to they just punk ass. So, but we really want to make sure we just concentrate. So anything that we can do to help our children, or even young people that are close to us, or even just peers, or yourself, to develop these kind of those traits, man, we want to be able to do it. So again, I appreciate everybody that came in. If you came in late, make sure you go to Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burton on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. You can check out the show in its full entirety. Guys, take care of yourself. Love you all. Be safe, and I'll talk with you soon.